This is going to be one of, if not the best offensive teams in the league, this Laker roster. When you look at what they went out and did, Sandro Mamu, like one of the best shooting bigs in the game, like him matching with Kessler Walker, right? Yeah. His ability to stretch the floor. And so when you think about Quentin Grimes, this team is going to make the playoffs.
What does an NBA team become after completely reinventing itself during just one offseason? Remember the last version of the Lakers we watched.
Hachimura got a three! That's 3 first-quarter triples for Hachimura.
Game 4 against the Thunder showed exactly where the Lakers stood. Their starting lineup featured LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, and Austin Reeves. Just a few hours later, their season came to an end as Oklahoma City completed the sweep. Like several playoff disappointments before it, the outcome made one thing clear: this roster simply wasn't strong enough. Then everything changed. Only 1 month later, 4 of those 5 starters were gone. Most NBA teams make a few minor additions each offseason and hope those moves are enough to improve. But what happened in Los Angeles this summer was something much bigger. This wasn't about replacing a few role players. It was a complete organizational reset. The Lakers finally addressed a problem they had been avoiding for years. One decision officially ended the LeBron James era, sent away most of the team's core, cost valuable future assets, and may have completely reshaped the franchise's future. Before looking at the new faces, it's important to understand who left. On June 30th, around 9 a.m. local time, nearly 6 hours before teams were even allowed to contact outside free agents, LeBron informed the Lakers that he would finish his career elsewhere. Just like that, one of the greatest eras in franchise history quietly came to an end. He spent 8 straight seasons in Los Angeles, the longest uninterrupted stretch of his career with any franchise. During that time, he helped deliver the 2020 NBA championship, bringing the Lakers their historic 17th title. Along the way, he also became the NBA's all-time leading scorer while wearing purple and gold. Even at 41 years old last season, LeBron remained an all-star, averaging 20.9 points while shooting 51% from the field, along with 7.2 assists and 6.1 rebounds per game. He led the Lakers in fast break scoring, topped the team in paint points, and finished second in assists. The playoffs were no different. His workload increased, and he averaged 23.2 points, 7.3 assists, and 6.7 rebounds, leading the Lakers past Houston in the opening round before Oklahoma City eliminated them in round 2. In the short term, losing LeBron undoubtedly lowers the team's ceiling. From a long-term perspective, however, the picture changes completely. At this stage of his career, LeBron no longer fit the timeline of a roster centered around a younger backcourt. His departure finally gave the Lakers something they hadn't enjoyed in years: real financial and roster flexibility. Whether that becomes an advantage or a setback depends entirely on how the front office uses it. If LeBron had been the only major departure this summer, the situation wouldn't have felt nearly as dramatic. Teams lose stars and eventually move forward. But that wasn't the case in Los Angeles. The exits continued, and Marcus Smart followed soon after. Smart declined his $5.4 million player option for the 2026-27 season, the final year of the 2-year, $10.5 million contract he signed with the Lakers, and joined the Houston Rockets through free agency. His statistics weren't eye-catching. Last season, he averaged 9.3 points, 3.0 assists, 2.8 rebounds, and 1.4 steals across 62 games, including 54 starts. But the Lakers never relied on him for scoring numbers. His value showed up everywhere else. With Smart on the floor, Los Angeles outscored opponents by 256 points. When he sat, they were outscored by 112. That kind of impact rarely appears in a traditional box score. His role was simple but extremely valuable. Every night, he took on the toughest defensive assignment. Whether he was matched up against Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, or Anthony Edwards, Smart embraced the challenge. That responsibility continued during the playoffs, where he defended Amen Thompson and Reed Shepherd against Houston before spending time guarding MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the second round. Losing Smart meant losing the heart of the Lakers' perimeter defense. And he wasn't the only departure that changed the team's identity. Shortly afterward, Los Angeles also lost one of the few things it couldn't afford to give away: outside shooting. Luke Kennard arrived at the trade deadline and immediately became one of the Lakers' most dependable offensive weapons coming off the bench. With Smart gone, the Lakers weren't just losing one player. They were saying goodbye to two critical strengths at the same time: elite perimeter defense and dependable shooting off the bench. Both are much tougher to replace than they seem on paper. And if that wasn't already enough, Rui Hachimura agreed to a 2-year, $28 million contract with the Clippers. That departure hits in a different way. It wasn't only about production. It was about continuity. Hachimura already understood the system and had developed strong chemistry with the team's two primary playmakers. Take a step back for a moment, though. This wasn't a terrible Lakers squad. They still reached the second round despite not having Luka in the postseason. In a Western Conference loaded with teams like San Antonio and Oklahoma City, that was probably their realistic ceiling. So if moving on from LeBron was unavoidable, why allow nearly everyone around him to leave as well? Once everything settled, the Lakers had lost Luke Kennard, their best shooter, Marcus Smart, their top perimeter defender, Rui Hachimura, their most efficient forward, and LeBron James, the face of the franchise, all during the same offseason. Put those departures together, and it looked much more like a complete teardown than a simple retool. And if that was your first impression, it may have been exactly what Rob Pelinka wanted everyone to think, because none of these moves happened by accident. Every decision was connected to one larger goal. Everything pointed toward a single player. That player was Luka Doncic. Even before LeBron officially announced his departure, this had already become Luka Doncic's team. Once LeBron left, there was no room for debate anymore. From that point forward, every major decision would revolve around Luka. When a franchise lands a superstar of his caliber, keeping him in the best possible situation becomes the top priority. Fortunately for the Lakers, Luka had already made it clear what he needed. Building around Doncic comes with several non-negotiable requirements. He thrives with an athletic center who finishes pick-and-roll opportunities, reliable perimeter defenders who can cover difficult matchups, dependable three-point shooters who create space for his passing, and secondary scorers who reduce the offensive burden on him. That was the exact checklist the Lakers began working through. Once LeBron's departure opened more than $50 million in salary cap space, they suddenly had the financial flexibility to pursue every piece they wanted. Free agency officially opened, contracts started flying across the league, and teams moved quickly to lock in their targets. The Lakers remained patient while everyone else rushed to make deals. Then, within roughly 35 minutes on Wednesday morning, everything fell into place. Los Angeles reached a sign-and-trade agreement with Utah to acquire Walker Kessler. Then they quickly added unrestricted free agents Sandro Mamukelashvili, Quentin Grimes, and Colin Sexton. Out of every move they made, one stood above the rest. For years, the Lakers had one problem they simply couldn't solve: finding a true center. If Rob Pelinka needed to get one decision right this offseason, this was it. Everyone knew it. Luka knew it. The front office knew it. And every Lakers fan knew it as well. Throughout the entire offseason, two names constantly surfaced as the top targets: Walker Kessler and Jalen Duren. In the end, Los Angeles made its choice. The Lakers completed a sign-and-trade with Utah for Kessler, giving up future first-round picks in 2031 and 2033 along with pick swaps in 2028 and 2030 before signing him to a 5-year, $130 million contract. That's a huge investment, which naturally raises one question. What exactly are the Lakers paying for? Looking only at last season doesn't provide many answers. A torn labrum limited Kessler to just 5 games before ending his season. During that brief stretch, he even flashed improved range by making 6 of 8 three-point attempts. Still, 5 games simply aren't enough to evaluate any player. To understand the move, you have to look back one season earlier, and that's where things become much more interesting. During the 2024-25 campaign, Kessler averaged 11.1 points while shooting 66% from the field, grabbed 12.2 rebounds, and blocked 2.4 shots per game. Those numbers placed him among the NBA's top interior big men. But his value extends far beyond traditional statistics. According to Basketball Index, Kessler ranked in the 97th percentile in rim deterrence, the 90th percentile in rim disruption, and the 99th percentile in overall rim protection. On offense, he finished in the 89th percentile for screen assists and the 90th percentile as a roll man. Put everything together, and you get a very specific player profile. An elite rim protector, powerful screen setter, and vertical lob threat who constantly pressures opposing defenses. In other words, he's exactly the type of center Luka Doncic has always thrived alongside. Throughout his career, Luka has turned rim-running centers into highly productive players through the pick-and-roll. Now Kessler gets to play with one of the greatest passers the league has ever seen. The partnership benefits both sides. Kessler helps cover Luka's defensive weaknesses, while Luka creates easier scoring opportunities than Kessler has ever enjoyed. The cost was significant. 2 first-round picks and 2 swaps represent a major price for a player returning from a serious injury, and it's fair to question whether he'll justify it. But the Lakers weren't paying for today's version of Kessler. They were investing in the player they believe he'll become. At only 24 years old, he fits perfectly beside Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves while finally giving Los Angeles the long-term answer at center their new franchise star wanted. The Kessler deal wasn't the final step. After losing Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard, the Lakers suddenly lacked backcourt depth. Their next priority became adding another guard, and Quentin Grimes was the answer. Los Angeles signed Grimes to a 4-year, $60 million contract. Last season, he appeared in 75 games and averaged 13.4 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 3.3 assists while shooting 45% from the field. His 33.4% mark from 3 won't impress many people, but his scoring certainly will. Grimes scored at least 20 points in 15 different games, including a 31-point performance against Portland. The biggest reason for optimism may not even appear in the box score. He already shares chemistry with Luka. During their time together in Dallas, the Mavericks scored 120.7 points per 100 possessions whenever both were on the floor. It's a limited sample, but it's exactly the kind of connection the Lakers hope continues. Grimes also adds youth, athleticism, and defensive versatility. He can defend opposing ball handlers and absorb many of the assignments Marcus Smart handled before. He isn't expected to replace Smart completely. The Lakers simply wanted a younger, balanced contributor who impacts both ends of the floor while continuing to develop beside Luka. Even after signing Grimes, one major concern still remained. Who would lead the offense whenever Luka rested? That became one of the Lakers' biggest weaknesses last season. The moment Doncic sat down, the offense frequently stalled. Instead of targeting another traditional point guard, Los Angeles chose to add another scorer. Collin Sexton has built his NBA career around putting the ball in the basket, and over the last few seasons he's become far more efficient doing it. Last year, splitting time between Charlotte and Chicago, Sexton averaged 15.4 points, 3.3 assists, and 2.3 rebounds while shooting 48.5% from the field and over 40% from beyond the arc. His outside shooting has quietly developed into one of his greatest strengths. He entered the league as a downhill attacker, but since the 2022-23 season he's consistently shot better than 39% from 3, making him both an excellent scorer and a legitimate floor spacer. That's exactly what the Lakers needed, someone capable of keeping the offense alive when Luka sits, creating his own shot, and replacing some of the playmaking they lost with LeBron's departure. The addition becomes even more valuable considering Los Angeles finished near the bottom of the NBA in bench scoring last season. There's another advantage too. Sexton and Kessler already spent multiple seasons together in Utah, meaning they already have built-in chemistry. Together, Grimes strengthens the perimeter while Sexton stabilizes the second unit. If Grimes and Sexton improve the backcourt, Sandro Mamukelashvili could have a similar impact on the frontcourt. Kessler couldn't carry the interior alone. The Lakers still needed another forward who could provide offense, improve scoring depth, and give them more flexibility in playoff matchups. They believe Mamukelashvili fills that role perfectly. Los Angeles signed the 27-year-old to a 4-year, $52 million contract after one of the strongest seasons of his career. In 80 games last year, he averaged 11.2 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 1.9 assists while shooting 52% overall and an outstanding 38.9% from 3, finishing 6th and 6th Man of the Year voting. Those numbers only tell part of the story. While Kessler dominates around the basket, Mamukelashvili stretches the floor. He knocks down outside shots, attacks closeouts, and fits comfortably beside another big man. That combination allows the Lakers to play bigger lineups without sacrificing spacing. His production became even more impressive whenever he entered the starting lineup. Across 13 starts, Mamukelashvili averaged 15.9 points, 2.9 assists, 1.3 steals, and more than 2 made threes per game while shooting 56% from the field and 41.4% from deep. Even coming off the bench, he immediately upgrades a second unit that struggled to score for long stretches last season. At just 27 years old, he fits naturally alongside Luka, Reeves, Kessler, and the rest of the Lakers' rebuilt core. In many ways, that's been the defining theme of this entire offseason. Los Angeles didn't just become different, they became younger as well. That new direction even carried into the NBA draft, where the Lakers selected Cameron Carr with the 24th overall pick. A 6'5" guard, his athleticism, scoring ability, and defensive potential make him one of the Lakers' most exciting young prospects. He proved in college that he could score from every area of the floor, and he's already carried that confidence into Summer League. He opened with 19 points while knocking down 5 three-pointers against Golden State, then followed it with a 26-point performance in a comeback victory over Miami. Whether he contributes immediately or takes another season or two to fully develop, the selection reflects the same vision driving every move this offseason. The Lakers are building for the future. Kessler provides elite rim protection. Grimes strengthens perimeter defense. Sexton gives the second unit another reliable scorer, while Mamukelashvili adds frontcourt spacing and versatility. Rather than chasing the biggest stars available, Los Angeles focused on the specific weaknesses of the roster and addressed them one by one. It's no coincidence that nearly every addition matches exactly what Luka Doncic wanted around him. The work still isn't completely finished. Since then, the Lakers filled their backup center vacancy by signing 3-time NBA champion Kevin Looney on a veteran minimum contract. They'll likely continue searching for additional veteran minimum contributors before opening night arrives. Compared to only a few weeks ago, though, this roster is younger, deeper, and built with a much clearer direction. Will that be enough to compete in the loaded Western Conference? We'll find out soon enough. One thing is already certain. This isn't the same Los Angeles Lakers. But there's another side of this offseason that can't be ignored. Constructing the roster this way came at a significant price. Every transaction cost the Lakers something, and none was more expensive than the Kessler trade. To acquire him, Los Angeles sent Utah 2 future first-round picks and 2 first-round pick swaps before committing 4 years and $130 million to their new center. That's an enormous investment for a player whose resume includes only 1 full breakout season and 1 major injury. The financial commitment doesn't stop there. Between Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and Walker Kessler, the Lakers now have roughly $475 million committed over the coming years. They entered free agency with the opportunity to create more than $50 million in cap space, and they've already spent nearly every dollar. The Ayton trade created a little extra flexibility by bringing back Jaden Hardy along with 2 second-round selections, but it wasn't enough to dramatically change their financial picture. More importantly, the Lakers have very few trade assets remaining. They no longer control any tradable first-round picks outside of 1 remaining future selection. They still own 3 second-round picks, but the roster clearly has unfinished business. A dependable backup center and another defensive wing remain near the top of the priority list. Then consider the competition. Oklahoma City and San Antonio both improved this offseason while keeping most of their future draft assets intact. Unlike those organizations, the Lakers have already pushed nearly all of their chips into the middle of the table. That means these moves have to work. This is Rob Pelinka's first roster built entirely after the LeBron James era, and its success depends heavily on Walker Kessler becoming the player the front office believes he can be. If he develops into an elite defensive anchor alongside Luka, this trade could shape the next chapter of Lakers basketball. If he falls short, Los Angeles will be left without the draft capital or financial flexibility needed to recover quickly. That's the gamble they've chosen. So no, these aren't the same Lakers. It's not the same roster, and it's certainly not the same level of risk. The franchise has stopped building around the player LeBron once was and fully committed to building around the player Luka Doncic is today. Whether this becomes one of the smartest rebuilds we've seen in years or the decision that ultimately defines Rob Pelinka's career and Luka's championship window will start becoming clear in October. This is Luka Doncic's team now. It's built around his strengths, designed for his timeline, and constructed with the belief that this group can compete for another championship. So what do you think? Did the Lakers just complete one of the smartest roster resets in recent memory, or did they sacrifice far too much trying to build the perfect team around Luka? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to follow every twist of this new Lakers era throughout the season, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned because there's going to be plenty to discuss.